Hi everybody, this is Irene with BrainStormAcres, and I'm out in the garden. What a scary thought. Now, the task that I'm going to do right now should probably have been done 2 months ago. Well, we've had very unusual weather this fall and winter. Snow when there shouldn't have been any, rain when there shouldn't have been any, just cold. And today is a sunny day, so it's time to get this done. Now, this is my asparagus bed. Henry and I planted asparagus here, I don't know. Geez, it's got to be at least 5 or 6 years ago now. Maybe more. I should actually look it up and see if I can figure out when we planted them. Asparagus are pretty easy to deal with. All I do is I make sure that they're weeded. And there are a couple of weeds that have come up in here, but not many. And other than that, I need to... there's grass here, of course. I need to cut these tops off and fertilize. Now, we've been getting a fairly decent harvest. The first year that you plant asparagus, I don't know if we even harvested any the first year. They say be super conservative, so maybe like harvest for a week or something like that. Read the instructions that come with your asparagus roots. Most people will have good instructions because they want people to succeed. But each year you can harvest for a longer period of time, and now we're up to what they would consider to be full production. Last year I felt like our production was not quite where it should be, and I did a bit more reading, and my conclusion was I hadn't fertilized enough. We always top dress with a couple of bags of compost every spring, but I hadn't really been putting in enough fertilizer, and some of our compost has horse manure or cow manure or something in it, but some of it doesn't. And yeah, hard to know exactly the nutrient value of compost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut back all of this, and that'll go in the burn pile. This does not get composted. It's bone dry. It would take years to compost. And to be honest, if there's any bug eggs or anything in there, I don't want it. So all I'm going to do is I've got the old standard clippers, and I'm going to go through here and cut these off. And I'm going to cut them off just a smidge below the soil level. I may have to switch cutters. Okay, cutter number 2. Hopefully this one works better. The other one works fine usually, but yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, I'm just going to make a pile of these. Like I say, I'm cutting them about a ½ inch below the soil surface. You don't want to dig in because you don't want to damage the crowns. And then once I cut them off, I'm going to smooth the soil back so you can't see where I cut. Now one of the things you'll notice when I'm working on this bed is I don't leave things on the edge of the bed. The reason is that these walls here are like 3 or 4 blocks deep, so if you drop something down here, good luck getting it out. So the rule is don't put anything on the edge. And the goal was to cap these with stone. It just doesn't happen. You'll notice that theme around here a lot. Pulling a few tiny weeds while I'm in here, because there's no reason not to. I don't know if you folks can hear it or not, but there's like a bazillion birdies coming in for water. They were mad at me because I came out here to film, and right now we're the only source of water in the area. It's not frozen. I've already filled the bird baths twice this morning. I have 4 old frying pans that I put water in for the birds. And they love me. They're actually pretty tame considering they're wild birds. They've kind of gotten used to the idea that I come out and they'll sit up on the tops of the trees and wait for me to fill up the water. In fact, they'll wait in the morning if I'm slow to getting out here. You know, it's hard to get good help these days. I have visions of them sitting there going, it's hard to get good help these days. These people are just never on time. All right, it's a mess, but I'll take care of that later. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw this over with my other stuff so it doesn't get trippy over here. All I'm doing here is I'm raking a little bit, because I actually want to make a mess of those little weeds that are there. Makes it a lot easier to pull them completely. And they're already partially up. I do not rake deeply. Asparagus are a shallow plant. That is as deep as I will normally rake. I'm just trying to, this one section here had quite a bit of small weeds in it. I try and keep up with it really well over the course of the summer, and my definitive goal is to always make sure that I pull weeds before they go to seed. Sometimes it's easier to actually let them get a little bit bigger before they get pulled, just so that you have more of a handle, I guess you'd say, to pull them with. And this also shows me if I've forgotten to get out any of the stakes that I used to hold the drip irrigation in place. Sometimes I miss them when I'm doing stuff. Right there. Nope, that's it. Okay. Step 1, clear the ferns out of the bed. Step 2, add compost. Ta-da! This is just some mushroom compost that we got at a big box store. Try and wait for it to be on sale, or at least to be cheaper. Certain times of the year they either tend to run out, or somehow it magically gets like $1 to $1.50 more expensive. There's one. Start raking this around and see how we do. Oops. Here's a piece of asparagus fern. Now, I've been doing this every spring since the first year we put these in, and this soil bears no resemblance whatsoever to the surrounding soil. It's mostly purchased, and it's pretty good actually. I would love to put about 10 times more in here than I can, but I figure if I put in some every spring, it at least helps. It gives a nice layer of composty sort of stuff on the top, which helps to hold the moisture in. I could buy it from an expensive landscape company and pay someone to deliver it because they won't deliver up here because they say the roads are too rough. So I have to pay a local guy to drive down there, go get it, and bring it back. And by the time you do that, I might as well buy it from the big box store, cubic yard at a time or whatever it is. A couple of cubic feet, I think is what that is. But each one of those bags runs between $2 and $3, depending on when I get it, where I get it. And I do envy those people who could get the stuff for free. That's it, 3 bags of compost. Now, I'm going to fertilize it. I used a organic general purpose one sort of last fall, but I'm going to start hitting it with more stuff this spring. I actually had not planned to be able to do this weekend, or well, this week, because our forecast said we were going to get rain, then freezing rain, and then snow. We got the sprinkles. I don't remember seeing any snowflakes. Did get cold temperatures. Like I say, it was 18 this morning when I woke up. But yeah, no precipitation. So now's as good a time as any to get this done. Well, as you can see, taking care of an asparagus bed is not a difficult thing. We do water throughout the season. If we're particularly dry in the winter, we'll even water, even if it means by hand with a watering can, to give us some more water. During the spring and summer season, it is watered every 2 or 3 days most of the time. Unless we get extremely hot weather, then sometimes I'll give it every day, but usually it's better to deep water every 2, 3, 4 days than it is to have just the shallow stuff that doesn't get through. So we're set. We're ready for it to happen. Our first harvest is usually in April, but obviously it varies from year to year depending on the temperatures. No way to guess this year because some things really are way behind, and that's okay. I'd rather have stuff come in later and not be frost damaged, because asparagus can be frost damaged. We had some damage last year. So hope this inspires you to try growing some asparagus. I know we have some other videos about it, and I probably talked about it in greater detail about the actual planting and harvesting, particularly, because I found a couple of people didn't understand how you harvested asparagus. So, have a great week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for future videos, and we'll see you later. Bye. Ta-da!